जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनच्छलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंश कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण परिष्ठाय भूतले नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण परिष्ठाय भूतले वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष वाचालं बंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वर हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण। So welcome for our continued discussion of the Chaitanya Charitamrita on this auspicious day of Indira Ekadashi. Again, we are fortunate to get the opportunity to discuss Harikatha on such an auspicious day. Somehow Krishna keeps giving us many such opportunities on Saturdays, somehow, festivals or Ekadashis. So that's really good because Prabhupada would emphasize Ekadashi is not just about fasting, about fasting from sense gratification and feasting on Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. So, anyway, so we are actually continuing our discussion of the 15th chapter. We had a break for a couple of weeks because of various reasons, but we are continuing the pastime. This is the chapter entitled Madhya Lila, chapter 15. The chapter entitled that Lord Chaitanya has prasad at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So that is a big topic. This is the beauty of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lot of deep philosophy and spiritual culture is brought out through apparently simple situations and simple interactions. Because ultimately Vaishnavism is not just about heroism of doing something. Ultimately, Krishna consciousness or advancement in Krishna consciousness is about character, qualities, humility, compassion, service attitude, equanimity to joys and distress of this world. And these are seen and perceived even within simple day-to-day interactions, where both good news and bad news will happen. Yeah. So this is one thing, of course, we also need to remember that it is not that when we become advanced, the good things will happen to us. Sometimes there is a wrong expectation there. So we can only become a good swimmer in the ocean. It's not that when we become a good swimmer, the ocean will stop its waves and say, oh, here comes a good swimmer. I will not. We can only reduce the impact of the waves to ourselves by expertly swimming. But the ocean will maintain its nature. So the material world will remain dukkhalayam. It will continue to throw surprises with a mix of pleasant and unpleasant situations. Sometimes for conditioned souls based on karma. Sometimes not even based on karma. It is the very nature of the material body. Pain is the very nature of the material body. And when we are in this world, we cannot but be exposed to the sufferings, if not directly ours, but of the people around us, the community, of the country, of the planet. So life in this material world is always challenging. Anyway, so that's one of the beauties of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that so many beautiful lessons in Vaishnava philosophy and culture come through wonderful interactions. This particular chapter, even though it's entitled about the Lord having prasad, we haven't actually begun that topic. Much of the discussion, or 3/4 of, or 2/3 of the discussion of this chapter that we have been discussing up until now is how Lord Chaitanya, who had invited the devotees from Bengal to come, now that they are about to return back to Bengal, because the Lord told eventually, because none of them were interested in going back. Let's go on, let this go on, correct? Like even when we all go for a yatra to Vrindavan, Mayapur and other places. After some days, we become so absorbed in that whole, schedule of staying holy places, hearing Harikatha, having prasad, being with you. Just feel we should never end. Never end. We should finally say, oh, this is ending. We have to go back to our job, our profession, our mundane activities again. So the devotees didn't want to go. And eventually the Lord said, now it's time. All the festival season is over. To spend time. Please come every year, but now you must go. And then extensive discussion is about how the Lord met various devotees and had these very sweet interactions with them as the devotees were about to depart. And we discussed about the Lord's interactions with many devotees. With Mukunda, Raghunath, Shivananda Sen and his brother, and so many devotees. And the Lord was glorifying each of these devotees, their character, appreciating them, and in most cases also giving them some specific instructions or guidance. So this is how a Vaishnava is. Even in a superior position, a Vaishnava at a superior position also, it's not that he's just trying to instruct. Actually, the more higher a Vaishnava is, the more he can see the good qualities of others. Sometimes we struggle. We look at devotees around us, he's like, as soon as we see that, he's like this. Did this. We overlook all good qualities and we start finding shortcomings. And shortcomings are there in the material world. Everybody has. And if we try to look for them, we will find them, even in pure devotees. I mean, they may not even be there, but we will create them by our own mind. So there's a wonderful display by the Lord, how he was appreciating each and every devotee. And these are your devotees worthy of appreciation. The Lord was glorifying. So we discussed last about Murari Gupta, if I remember correctly, how he is actually a doctor and an incarnation of Hanuman, how he displayed the ecstasy. He was a doctor externally, but internally always attached to Krishna. So that is how, in the Bhakti tradition, we expect devotees to act. So first 25 years is student life, next 25 years is Grihastha life. So while one is in Grihastha life, 25 to 50, one is expected to work, but at the same time, maintain one's deep attachment to Krishna. And even in work in such a way that one totals his work in Krishna's service, directly or indirectly. I'll not go into this topic in detail because that will be a class by itself, but we have discussed this point many times earlier. Mama Anusmara Yudhyacha. Krishna's instruction to Arjuna is you fight, but you don't lose remembrance of me. That is a sum and substance. And we will not lose remembrance of Krishna if Krishna is ultimately the beneficiary of all our activities. This is something that we have to remember. If Krishna is not the beneficiary of our activity, directly or indirectly, directly means bhakti yoga, indirectly means karma yoga. Offering the fruits, full or part. If he is nowhere in the picture and we are doing activities for ourselves and we expect we'll be able to remember Krishna, no, how will we be able to remember? Correct? A mother, as she's cooking, she's remembering the children because she's thinking of I'm cooking for the children. And my husband, dabba banana hai. I have to get the lunch box ready before they go. So she's remembering that she's fully focused on the spices and the cooking and everything. But she's still remembering because of the connection of the activity to the individuals who are the beneficiaries of that activity. You understand? So, you know, so unless we have that association of the activities, it is not artificial. It's not that I'm remembering Krishna, I'm remembering Krishna, I'm doing my work, I'm a computer, I'm remembering Krishna, you know. I mean, if you want to attempt to do that, that's also good. But the natural way is that will not work so well. Natural way is we have to see everything in connection with Krishna, including all our activities. And that is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness ultimately aspiring to come to the point of being Krishna conscious at all times. And that is only possible when we are able to connect everything we do and everything we see in connection with Krishna. So we look around, oh, this is Krishna's energy. Even when we see something beautiful, oh, this is how beautifully Krishna has created. This flower, oh, wow. Just imagine this flower is so beautiful and this has just a speck of Krishna's opulence of beauty. Still, it is so attractive and such sweet fragrance. How much more beautiful Krishna will be. So this is how devotee always relates. So this Dr. Murari Gupta, he was talking to this Nawab, and the Nawab was being fanned with a peacock fan, and he saw the peacock fan and remembered Krishna suddenly. And into ecstasy and fell down. Anyway, we have discussed that past time, so I don't want to again, because we have a lot to cover today. That is how the Lord glorified. Just see it as character. A little trigger of direct remembrance of Krishna. Of course, the seva he was doing in connection with Krishna, but sometimes there is a technical term, I'm trying to recollect it. There is a trigger for ecstasy. If anybody remembers, they can remind me the technical term, I forgot. Where you suddenly see a peacock fan and Krishna, you remember Krishna very intensely. So that was the glory of Murari Gupta, and the Lord also tells about him that how at one time I was teasing him, why you are worshipping Ram, you should worship Krishna. Then he tried so hard, but felt miserable and he felt like giving up his life, and he comes crying to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya just laughs and he's so happy. He says, this is very good devotion. You are so fixed in your worship of Lord Ram. And that is only because you are actually Hanuman. That's why you have this kind of a fixed devotion that you cannot. And of course, Ram and Krishna, the same person, they're different manifestation. So the Lord said, there's no need for you to give up. I was just testing. Actually, testing in the sense the Lord wanted to show the glory of Murari Gupta to the world. Sometimes we wonder for pure devotees why the Lord has to test. The Lord doesn't test them to mark them, pass or fail. He tests them so that through that episode, when that episode is published, the glory of that devotee becomes known to the world. Had he not done this, we wouldn't have known what kind of fixed love he had for Lord Ramchandra. So much so that God himself is asking him, to change his method of worship, but he's unable to. That is the kind of his feast. So Lord Chaitanya was so pleased with him. I accept this Murari Gupta as my life and soul. And he's so humble. He's so humble. He humble devotee. Humility is a quality which is very, very dear to the Lord. A humble devotee, a very compassionate devotee, works for the welfare of others without any expectation of benefit for himself. It's very, very dear. So after that, now we are continuing on. Lord Chaitanya embraced another devotee. His name is Vasudeva Datta. Also very, very, very exalted. And I think even though it's not mentioned here in the verses, Vasudeva Datta is an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. The Lord Chaitanya embraced him and the Lord was glorifying him as if he had 1,000 mouths. And the nature of great devotees is when they are glorified, they don't think, yes, finally I got endorsement. I hope somebody is taking this video so I can make a reel and publish it on YouTube. I'll get so many likes and I'll be so happy. So everyone has found out how great a devotee I am. So we will think like this. Those are very advanced. Actually, a natural quality of genuine advancement is humility. A natural quality of genuine advancement. So he became very, very embarrassed. Felt very shy. No. So devotee always thinks that actually I'm so much full of so many shortcomings, and whatever wonderful things are happening or are manifest in my personality are all the mercy, all the blessings and mercy of Guru and Krishna. There is no credit for me. This is how a devotee processes praise. Criticism, yes. Glorification, credit to Guru and Krishna. This is a very natural quality. And those who are genuinely advanced feel actually uncomfortable when they are glorified. They don't like it. Conditioned souls enjoy. Go on a little more externally, try to show humility, but internally, yeah, so nice. So Vasudeva Datta finally, was feeling so embarrassed. He fell at the feet of the Lord and touched the Lord's lotus feet. Oh Lord, what are you saying? You have come down, deliver all the conditioned souls. But I have one request, my Lord, since you are so pleased. I have one request to you. So normally somebody would think, what, Adeva? He took the opportunity to ask for one benediction. But just see what Vasudeva Datta asked for. So when the Lord became pleased and he thought I could ask a benediction from the Lord, see what Vasudeva Datta asked. He said, my Lord, you have come to deliver the conditioned souls. So I have come make one petition, and you are so powerful. Whatever you want, you can do. Who can stop you from anything? You are so merciful. You are so powerful. Oh Lord, my heart is breaking in pain to see the suffering of living entities in this world, all the conditioned souls, which is practically everyone. So I have one request, one simple request. All the karma of all the living entities in this universe, you transfer it to me. All the karma of all the living entities in this universe, you transfer it to me. I will suffer for all of it. You deliver all these living entities. Let me perpetually suffer in hell. Because there are zillions of living entities. Can you imagine what kind of karma we cannot imagine? So much karma. We take, very lightly to accept another person's karma on our head. So sometimes we take it very lightly. Oh, Guru accepts karma, we take it very lightly. Guru can take and pass it to Krishna because Guru is so advanced. We are not so advanced. That's why when somebody tries to become Guru when he is not advanced and when he cannot digest the poison of the karma of his disciples, they end up destroying themselves. Once one counselor, Chopati, is a long story, but in short, he went to the spiritual master and said, "Yes, Maharaj, I am willing to accept the karma of the counselees that I am recommending for initiation." Because Maharaj said that, unless you are willing to take the karma, you should not recommend somebody for initiation. So he went to Maharaj, Maharaj, I will take. So Maharaj told him, I mean, that sentiment is good, but if you actually take, you will die. You will die because you cannot digest. Lord Shiva can take poison and he can digest. He became Neelakantha and glorified with him. It's not every person's job. Not everyone should not imitate Teja Isam, who are extraordinarily powerful. Not imitate, otherwise we end up destroying ourselves. Why I'm mentioning that? One person's karma you take only, you will be so overburdened that you will be practically dead. So he's saying, I want to take the karma of all living entities. You deliver it. Perpetually I am willing to suffer in hell. Please, you finish their material existence. It's so painful for me to see that they are forgetful of you and they are suffering. I cannot see how they will be delivered. So many of them. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard, and he meant every word he said, he was not simply saying. And this is one of the reasons one should be very careful when one prays to the Lord. Sometimes we get overexcited and we pray something. You also have to think, if the Lord grants, can we actually deal with what we are asking for? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart melted. Tears started flowing from the eyes of Lord Chaitanya. He was trembling. In the faltering voice, Lord Chaitanya spoke to Vasudev Datta. You are such a great devotee, Vasudeva. What you have said is so amazing, so amazing. Such an exalted behavior. Even though in one sense it is so astonishing that somebody can say something like this. At the same time, I am not astonished. Why am I not astonished? Because I know that you are none other than Prahlad Maharaj. And only a great devotee as Prahlad Maharaj, who has the complete mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can have this level of compassion. Correct? It is one level of compassion to go and give class to someone. Correct? That we guide and help others. That is compassion also. It is wonderful. Another level of compassion is not only preach to them, but also get involved in their lives to help them deal with their various challenges in a Krishna conscious way, to counsel, somehow be part of their happiness and distress in their journey, to help them as a mentor to navigate the challenges in the material world. That's another level. Because then you start getting involved. When you get involved, obviously you subject yourselves to miseries also. But this is a different kind of level. See, you give me their karma, you give their whole lot to me. Let them be free. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the fact that you are asking for something means the Lord has given you his complete mercy. It is not possible for any ordinary, even for an ordinary liberated soul, to say something. And whatever a pure devotee asks from the Lord certainly will grant. because it is the Lord's greatest desire of his heart to fulfill the desire of his pure devotee. So if you are desiring the deliverance of the whole universe, then all of them will be delivered to Vasudev Dutt. And you know what? Krishna has such power that he can deliver all of them without you having to suffer their sinful reactions. Why should you undergo the suffering of all the karma? Do you think Krishna is not capable of eliminating all the sins of all these living entities? Krishna can very easily eliminate. That is not at all a problem for the Supreme. And because your desire is so honest and so sincere, and just simply your willingness, your genuine, sincere willingness to take that suffering, Krishna is so pleased that he says, no need to do this also. I grant your wish without you paying the price. Huh? Correct? So you want something so badly, you're willing to pay such a high price. That itself, the Lord is so pleased. Oh, you are so much for this. That means you really value this so much. Okay, I'm so happy with you. Just take it. I don't want the price. So Vasudev, that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to take the sinful reactions and suffer. Why would the Supreme Lord want a devotee like you to suffer for endless time? Even though you, as an accountable, sincere devotee, is asking to take over. And this is not a big deal for Krishna. To deliver and liberate all the living entities in one universe. Imagine, huh? All living entities in one universe. It's not a big deal for Krishna. Just like there are millions of small fruits on a Udumbara tree, like that, millions of universes are floating in the causal ocean, the river of Viraj, causal ocean. From this Udumbara tree, which has millions of fruits, if one fruit falls down, what is the loss? Does the tree bother? So Maya is creating unlimited universes, material universes. These are all floating in the causal ocean. They're all floating just like mustard seeds. Thousands and millions of mustard seeds are floating in water. Like that, the universes, the Brahma Anda are floating in the causal ocean. So if one of that mustard seed is lost because all the living entities are delivered, what is the loss for Krishna? No big deal. What to speak of one mustard seed, which is one universe? Even if all universes, all living entities are delivered, and Maya has no more job to perform because there are no conditioned souls. Actually, even then, there is no loss for Krishna because Krishna is enjoying unlimited opulence in the spiritual world. So, and then he gives a wonderful example, Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya says, for a person who has millions of kamadhenu, millions of wish fulfilling cows, if he happens to lose one she goat, one goat, and he has millions of wish fulfilling cows, is he going to be upset? No big deal. So, uh, this blessing, Lord Chaitanya gave to Vasudeva Datta. So, so Vasudeva Datta is considered the epitome of compassion. Okay, so just a word of caution, don't get over enthusiastic and ask for such things. The problem will come if Krishna grants. Krishna doesn't grant, then everything is okay. Krishna just says, oh, Gaur Chandradas, good prayer. I'm happy with your prayer. Thank you. Good job. Then it's okay. The moment Krishna says, Tathastu, gone. I cannot drink the poison, then I will end up killing myself. So Even when we pray to the Lord, we must be very, very sincere and seriously ask. We talk and say, when we seriously ask and are very sincere in our request, the Lord also takes our request very seriously. Uh, and any genuine ask, which is out of sincerity, not driven by lust, the Lord is generally inclined to fulfill. So, the Lord Himself is a full wish fulfilling tree. So, if one approaches with humility, with devotion, with faith, and request, certainly the Lord will bestow His mercy on any sincere devotee. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in this way, just like it glorified Vasudeva, one after another, every devotee, Lord Chaitanya was, meeting and all the devotees, as the Lord concluded meeting all of them, there were tears in their eyes because they all realized now it's time to go. The yatra is over. We have to go back to Bengal. All the devotees started crying because of the feelings of the imminent separation. So for us, when we visit the Holy Dham, we can test ourselves to see whether when we are leaving the Dham, we are feeling the pangs of separation from the Holy Dham. If we are feeling at least to some level, that is good. We should feel. Then if we are feeling a little bit of that pangs of separation, then that means, we have received some blessings. There's that kind of attachment, because that's an indication of developing some attachment for the Holy Dham or for the Sangha of devotees for that matter. So all the devotees eventually departed for Bengal, except for Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit, who had joined as Gadadhar Pandit, is the incarnation of Radharani, came to associate with Lord Chaitanya. He was a childhood friend of Lord Chaitanya. He is younger in age. And Lord Chaitanya gave him a place to stay at a place known as Yameshwara in Puri. And he said, you remain here with me, be in Puri, no need for you to go back. So Lord Chaitanya remained in Puri. Of course, Gadadhar was now based in Puri, along with Lord Chaitanya, Paramananda Puri, Jagadananda Pandit, Swarup Damodar, Damodar Pandit, Govinda, and Kashishwar were already in Puri earlier also. They also continued to be in Puri. And they continued after that their daily schedule, right? We discussed this, what was the daily schedule of Lord Chaitanya. Morning he would go to Jagannath temple, take darshan, be there, take darshan of the Uppala Bhoga, then he would come, he would bring some prasad, he would meet Haridas Thakur, give him Jagannath's prasad, right? We discussed all that. The Lord had a very beautiful schedule where he would, So one day it is said, after this, after all the devotees had departed, of course, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is based in Puri only. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came before Lord Chaitanya. All this while, last couple of months, the Lord was so busy accepting invitations from all the visiting Bengali devotees. Lunch, right? We discussed that. There were so many invitations that, initially the senior devotees, they got at least one day for the Lord to come and have a lunch. Then the other tier 2 devotees, many of them had to group together and cook together and serve Lord Chaitanya. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, now I want to gain back my seva of cooking and serving Lord Chaitanya. So he came to Lord Chaitanya very enthusiastically and thought that, now the Lord will not say no because all the devotees have gone. So who's going to invite him? So he went to Lord and he told Lord Chaitanya, please, I'm extending invitation to you for lunch. Please come for 1 month every day. And Lord said, 1 month, every day, lunch at your place. Okay. 20 days, 20 days. So like that, the Lord was, because the Lord felt as a sannyasi, it is not a good thing for him, they every day go to somebody's house and have lunch and, So the Lord was, pushing back on the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And then finally he came. He came to 15 days. And then the Lord told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I will come to your place to have lunch only for 1 day. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so heartbroken. He fell at the Lord's feet and begged him, no, at least for 10 days, my Lord. So this negotiation went to and fro, and finally 5 days was the settlement. So this is the nature of the Lord. Even though he has some desire to keep it in a particular way, the Lord sometimes adjusts it because the devotee is so keen and the Lord doesn't want to pain his devotee. And he agreed for 5 days. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made one more request. He said, oh Lord, slight twist my request. 5 days, okay, but normally whenever you come, you don't come alone, you come with 10 sannyasis. So, while I am happy to serve all 10 sannyasis along with you, I want some private time to be able to serve you. Actually, I want you to come alone. Not that I don't want to serve the other sannyasis. So, let us do something. He negotiated with the Lord in such a way that certain other sannyasis I will serve on other days. I will invite them also. He will some days they will come with you. Some of them will come with you. Some days you come alone. So, I don't want to go through all the details. But he worked out an intelligent strategy so that no one is left out. At the same time, he gets what he wants, which is, exclusive time. Because also, the kind of sweet, intimate interaction that he wanted with the Lord, sometimes it becomes inhibited when there are other senior sannyasis around. Right? Yeah. And that is true, right? I mean, even for us, when we want to serve a spiritual master, if the spiritual master is alone, there is no other God brothers of the spiritual master. He will have a different mood with us. If he's there with 5 other sannyasis, he'll be a bit more formal because they are there. He will have to maintain a certain uh, uh, what is the right word? He'll be a bit more formal. He'll not be, very. He may not display that much affection, and may not be that much personal in his interactions. A lot of others are. So finally, it was settled. The matter was settled. And the conclusion was, Lord, you will come today only for lunch alone to my house. So that was the first installment. Today, you are coming alone. So this conversation happened with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya early morning after Lord Chaitanya had taken darshan in Jagannath temple. And he told him, and that was probably around 8 a.m. or so in the morning. I don't know the exact time, but I'm assuming it was there. Around that time, I'll tell you why. I'm guessing that was the time, 7 to 8 a.m. And they said, Lord, for lunch you come. Because usually Lord Chaitanya's practice was take darshan, he would do various things in the morning, meet devotees and be in the Gambhira. Then around noon, Lord Chaitanya would take bath in the sea at Jagannath Puri. Then he would have his lunch. So he told the Lord, please, after your afternoon bathing, come for lunch to my house. And Lord said, okay, finally settled. To please you, okay, done. I will come today for lunch. You be happy. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so happy, so excited. He rushed to his wife, who was also a very great devotee. And she loved to cook and she was expert in cooking. So she is popularly known as Sathir Mata. Sati was the name of the daughter of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife. Correct? Sometimes in traditional India, rather than referring to the lady by her name, they will say so and so's mother. Ramu ki ma, Shyam ke papa, like that. Sathir Mata, the mother of Sathir. It was the daughter. So he went and told Sathir Mata, oh, mother of Sathi. She was elderly lady, just like Sarvam Bhattacharya, very affectionate, very motherly towards Lord Chaitanya. He told her that, Lord Chaitanya is coming. And we must cook a wonderful feast for him for lunch. Normally, any woman, even a devotee woman, generally, most women, if you tell them at breakfast time that I'm bringing guests for lunch, they will not be too excited. For the simple reason that there is no time, Arey Baba, time to cook, ingredients, prepare. I mean, especially for a grand feast. Arey, why you are inviting suddenly like this? Give me notice of few days, correct? I mean, and that's reasonable. I'm not criticizing, and that's a reasonable ask. But she was such an expert cook, such an expert cook. She was very, very happy. She said, I am immediately getting down to business. Huh? And she was very, very expert. So she had a very wonderful kitchen. The greatness about Sarvam Bhattacharya's house that it was always full stock of various kinds of vegetables, grains, fruits, spices, and being expert in cooking, immediately she gathered whatever she needed and she immediately got to the job. So she had a very wonderful, elaborate kitchen, he said. And attached to the kitchen were two rooms, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. One room was for offering the bhoga, and the other room they had kept, which was also attached to the kitchen, where they had specially designed for Lord Chaitanya to come and have prasad. Private place so that nobody else bothers him. Very peacefully he can sit there, have and they can serve. So the offering, then immediately the prasad is brought from the kitchen into that room where Lord Chaitanya is. So that particular room had one door towards the outside and one door towards the kitchen. This is how Chaitanya Charitamrita describes it. And this lunch room was a bit secluded, so that it was not in full public view. So Sarvam Bhattacharya was busy preparing and all the arrangements. Of course, he was doing the arrangements, but the cooking was being done by his wife. And it is said, Sarvam Bhattacharya he prepared one huge leaf, banana leaf, because in those days lunch was on banana leaves in most parts of India, wherever banana leaves were available. And a huge stack of rice, very beautiful, fragrant rice, mixed with golden ghee, just poured so abundantly that the Chaitanya Charitamrita says it was overflowing over the banana leaf and outside. And how much rice? So much rice that almost, it is said, around 6 pounds of rice. 6 pounds is almost like 2-3 kilos of rice stacked like this. And around it were various clay pots filled with, either they were clay pots or they were pots made of banana leaf, banana leaf cups. And various kinds of preparation were prepared by Sarvam Bhattacharya's wife and placed very nicely. And the next 10 verses are a list of all the items she cooked. We'll get tired reading it. Most of them are Bengali items, so many of us will not even know what they are. So various kinds of vegetable preparations, various kinds of shukta, shaka, various kinds of sweets, various kinds of cakes, various stir-fried items, soups, spicy sabjis, sour sabjis. So many names are given. Dugdha Tumbi, Dugdha Kushmanda, Veshara, Lafara, Mocha Ghanta, Mocha Bhaja. So many other vegetable names. So there are 10-15 types of vegetables she had prepared. So The list is so big, including fried items, pickles, chutneys, sweets, various kinds of vadas. I'm scrolling down, but the verses are not ending of the description of the items. Sweet rice mixed with ghee was poured into an earthen pot mixed with chanpa kala, condensed milk, and mango. So many of these preparations I cannot relate to. So they are those traditional Bengali Udiya kind of cuisine, which still, even Jagannath today, if you go, they have their own cuisine of what kind of offerings are offered to Jagannath. So very beautiful white cloth was spread, and all these items, great variety of food was laid out. Pitchers filled with sweet scented water, and this mound of rice, which I mentioned, around which all these various curries and dals and vegetables and fried items and sweets and all chutneys and pickles were all laid out. It's beautiful. The tulsi manjari, which was put on top of the mound of rice. On top of that, so all these items, the exact number of items is not mentioned, but it seems like there were 30, 40 items which were cooked by between breakfast time and lunch time. Within a span of uh, Chaitanya Charitamrita says around 6 hours, practically alone, wife of Sarvam Bhattacharya cooked 30, 40 items. A-class items. Not that, the same spice, same masala, one vegetable become one item, put another vegetable, put another item. Not sometimes to increase number of offerings, we do like that. Really distinct kinds of vegetables and various items. So everything was set up and was just ready at the time of lunch. They were just waiting when Lord Chaitanya will come. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after finishing his midday duties, doing his bath, doing his Gayatri, Lord Chaitanya knew the heart of Sarvam Bhattacharya. A devotee is very, very enthusiastic to give pleasure to the Lord's senses. See, this is the whole concept of bhakti is to give pleasure to Krishna's senses. Atmendriya pritivancha dhare कार bale काम Krishnendriya pritivancha dhare premna. Prem means how to give pleasure to Krishna senses, because ultimately everything is meant for pleasure of Krishna. Our senses are just a small part of Krishna's unlimited senses, and ultimately he's the enjoyer. So Sarvam Bhattacharya was so eager that the Lord enjoys his lunch. His whole meditation, and Sathir Mata, her whole meditation was how Lord Chaitanya is going to enjoy. So this is how when we cook, the meditation for those who are cooks. When we cook, the meditation is, of course, at one level, at an intellectual level, we are ensuring that everything is clean. We are very, very attentive to make sure that we put the correct spices in the correct proportion, cook it properly, not undercook it, not overcook it. So all that attentiveness, meticulousness, diligence, all is important. But the consciousness always is how I make this so nice that the Lord will enjoy it. How the Lord will enjoy this item. That's the devotee's meditation. And the greatest pleasure for the devotee, if at all he can actually see the Lord eating, of course, the Lord eats, may not be able to see for the deity. This is, of course, a different pastime where the Lord is personally eating. The devotee is just looking, what is the expression on the Lord's face when he puts that item into his mouth. And the Lord puts it, that is happiness for the devotee. The devotee is not waiting when the Lord will go and leftover I will eat. I want the Mahaprasad. Hopefully my Guru doesn't eat all of this. He leaves some for me. I'm not pointing to you. Huh? There are people like me who think like this. You all are wonderful devotees. So The whole devotees meditation is. Radharani was like that. Radharani, when she comes to Barsana, sorry, from Barsana, she comes to Nandagaon. She cooks next to the Pavan Sarovar, the base of Nandagaon, and every day she'll assist Yashoda Maiya to cook breakfast and lunch and all. And when the Lord is sitting and eating, huh, Radharani and the Sakhis will be hiding from a distance, just waiting to see Krishna's reaction. What is Krishna's reaction when he puts this item into his mouth? And when Krishna puts, gives the kind of reaction they are expecting, they are very happy. Oh, this has turned out exactly how I wanted it to. And Krishna is also very smart. Sometimes to tease Radharani, even though the item is extremely tasty, he'll put it in his mouth and do. And Radharani and the Sakhis are suddenly so scared. Did I accidentally put salt instead of sugar? Or did I do this? Or did I do that? Then Krishna will say, oh, this is so. Then Krishna will put it in the mouth of one of his friends. That friend, when he'll put it in his mouth, he'll be, oh, this is nectar. Then Krishna will also start laughing. Everybody will laugh. Krishna will have this kind of beautiful pastimes. And Radharani and the Sakhis will be very, very happy. Of course, Radharani and the Sakhis also want that Krishna will leave something back on the plate. Not because they want to taste it, but they want the remnants of Krishna. That consciousness is okay. We want Krishna's remnants. We want to taste what is tasted by him so that we can meditate on how he would have enjoyed it. You understand? That is the meditation of honoring prasad. This is how, oh, not that, oh, this is so tasty for my tongue. How Krishna has enjoyed this item. This is how we get purified. This is the right consciousness of honoring prasad. Anyway, so enough said on this topic. So all this was laid out and they were so excited. And Lord Chaitanya knew that in their heart, they were waiting for Lord Chaitanya to come and accept this prasad and see him being pleased. So the Lord came to Saram Bhattacharya's house. As soon as he come, like in any traditional Indian house, you'll wash your hands, feet, mouth. Then the Lord was escorted from the side entrance into the lunch room. On the other side, there was a Shaligram. There's a Narayan Shaligram Shila where the Naivedya would be offered. Sarvam Bhattacharya's house. And he came in and he saw this huge banana leaf with this 6-pound rice with ghee overflowing and all these pots with a chair kept there. Chair meaning the what we call as the part, the low sitting wooden seat on which we sit for eating or for puja. So when Lord Chaitanya came in and saw that elaborate arrangement, the first thought that comes to the mind of Lord Chaitanya is, this is the Naivedya for offering for the Lord. Like a mountain of rice, pure flowing, 20, 30 pots around it. Because the quantity was so much of, of the preparation, it was enough for 10 people to eat. Lord Chaitanya said, wow, this is so much rice and vegetables. How is it possible that she cooked this in 6 hours? 6 hours ago we spoke and you invited me, and in 6 hours all these preparations are ready. Even 100 men cooking on 100 stoves cannot prepare this quality of preparations within 6 hours. And after having said that, the first thing he asked Sarvam Bhattacharya is this Naivedya already offered to the Lord? I think it is offered because I can see Tulsi Manjari on top of the rice mound. And he started glorifying your life is successful. Anyone who with such devotion prepares such delicious items for the pleasure of the Lord, pleasure of Radha Krishna. Actually, such a wonderful lesson, right? I mean, it's not that we have to do something big to please the Lord. Even as simple homemaker, if we cook with the feeling of devotion that I have something wonderful for the pleasure of the Lord and offer that, the Lord is so happy just by that sincere effort. Chaitanya was appreciating all these items. Oh, the rice is so golden and so wonderful. And the aroma is so amazing that it seems that Radha and Krishna have directly eaten it. Bhattacharya, you are so fortunate, huh, that you are able to make such arrangements of such delicious Naivedya for the Lord. And I am so fortunate that from this huge offering for the Lord, I will be able to honor some prasad from there. Sarvam Bhattacharya, who knows very well that Krishna and Lord Chaitanya are non-different, says, oh Lord, it is not so wonderful. Everything is possible by your grace only, by your energy only. The same person who made it possible to cook this offering in 6 hours is the same person who is going to eat it. There is nothing wonderful. So now very soon we are going to see the wonder of the same person eating it. Actually, neither myself nor my wife exerted ourselves in any way. Somehow by the Lord's arrangement and potency, all these things have been wonderfully made possible. You only know, the Lord only, by whose energy, by whose potency all this has been prepared. He only knows. So Lord, now, let us not waste time. You please sit down and have your lunch. So the Lord Chaitanya was still thinking, this is from the Lord's Naivedya, and the Lord was kind of thinking, where am I going to sit and have my lunch? So Saram Bhattacharya says, no Lord, you sit here. This place is for you. Huh? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is the Lord's seat. This is where you offered your Naivedya. This is the Lord's seat. How can I sit there? You move that seat aside, keep a separate plate for me, take some little bit of the items and give me some little bit of this so that I can honor this prasad. So Lord said, Sarva Bhattacharya, oh Lord, just like the prasad is the Lord's, the plate is the Lord's prasad, the sitting place of the Lord is also the Lord's prasad sitting place. So no problem. Just like the garlands, chandan, clothes that are offered to the Lord are accepted by the devotees, same way you can go and sit there only on the same seat and you can accept the prasad directly from the Lord's plate. And then if you think that something may be left over, no worries. The rest we will manage. But actually, Lord Chaitanya then said, yeah, that is also true that, whatever the Lord has left behind, whatever has been offered, can then be accepted by the devotees as Maha. So that is true. But then the Lord Chaitanya said, but there is so much food here. How can I eat? It is impossible. And Sarvam Bhattacharya said, oh Lord, what is impossible for you? In Jagannath Puri temple, you are eating chappan bhog every day. Big pots of rice and dal and sweets, all you take. Now, little bit of this, what, 6 pounds of rice, you are, protesting as if you cannot eat. Don't do bahana. I know it is easy, very easy for you to accept this offering. Not only at Jagannath temple, but in Dwarka as Krishna, go to 16,000 homes of the 16,000 queens. Each queen cooks lunch for you. And you have 16,000 lunch simultaneously, 16,000 homes. Not only that, in Mathura, you have 18 mothers. It is said Vasudeva had 18 wives. We know prominently Devaki and Rohini, right? But there were another 16. So there are 18 mothers. They are also cooking for you. And amongst the Yadu dynasty, so many elders are also cooking and you go simultaneously to all their homes. In Brindavan, your father's elder brothers, your father's younger brothers, your maternal uncles, your father's sister's husbands, and so many elderly cowherd men, all of them every day invite you. And you expand and go to everybody's house and have lunch every day. And each person thinks that the Lord is only with me and having lunch. All these things I know. That time you don't protest, cannot eat so much, cannot eat so much. You eat their breakfast, their lunch, eat their dinner in the house of each and everyone. And most of all, during Govardhan Puja, we know what all you did. So, oh Lord, this is just small sample. What is this offering? Lord Chaitanya started laughing, smiled. Because he knows internally that Saram Bhattacharya knows who he is. And ultimately, Lord Chaitanya's objective was to please him. The Lord, the devotee wants to please the Lord, and the Lord wants to please his devotee. That is the eternal loving interaction between the Lord and devotee. That is the essence of existence. There's nothing higher than that. The one supreme has become many simply to have this reciprocation of love eternally for unending time. And everything else which is manifested is just to create ingredients and uh, situations and facilities for that kind of interaction. That's all. That's the sum and substance of existence. Very simple for us. So Lord Chaitanya finally smiles. He sit down on the seat which is laid out in front of this huge plate. There are all these pots laid out. And on top of that, besides everything that was cooked, Saram Bhattacharya also had some Mahaprasad from Jagannath's temple arranged. He brought and he kept that also in front of the Lord. And he said, oh Lord, maybe you want to start first Jagannath's Mahaprasad. We have cooked Jagannath's Mahaprasad from the temple. It's also there. So as all of this was laid out, and the Lord was about to eat or honor Prasad. For the Lord, we can say eat because he's not honoring Prasad. He's eating and it is becoming Prasad. Huh? We honor Prasad. So the Lord was about to eat. The son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his name was Amogha. Now this Amogha is the husband of Sati. Correct? Satir Mata, which is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's wife. Sati's husband is Amogha. Even though he's born in a Brahman family, somehow was a fault finder by nature. He always find fault and criticize. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya knew that this guy is a fault finder. And he was very worried that, when Lord Chaitanya is, having prasad, that Amogha should not come into the house. Because he may create a situation, he may pass a comment, he may criticize, he may do something. So as the Lord was eating, outside that entrance, that lunch room had an entrance on the backside. With a stick, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was guarding that place. So that Amogha doesn't come. But then at the same time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had to be busy in serving the Lord. So when he was busy serving the Lord, he came inside and the door was unguarded. Amogha found that opportunity, quickly entered that room where Lord Chaitanya was sitting and having his lunch. And he came straight in front of Lord Chaitanya and started looking at the plate in front of Lord Chaitanya. And he said, oh, so much food. This food is enough to feed 10 to 20 people. This one sannyasi is going to eat so much food. My God. I mean, can you imagine? First of all, if any guest were to come to our house and somebody from our family would say like this, we would be embarrassed beyond imagination. And here the Supreme Lord, after so much convincing, has come and he's having lunch, and this is what your close family member does. Acharya was so mad with rage when Amogha made this kind of a comment. Quickly grabbed back that stick and started running in the direction of Amogha to hit. And Amogha, immediately realizing the situation, he passed this comment and ran away. He scampered out from the door from which he came in and ran into the courtyard. And Bhattacharya, being an old man, he couldn't catch him. And Bhattacharya and his wife are so angry because this point was such a beautiful, beautiful situation, beautiful scene. Saram Bhattacharya was cursing him and calling him ill names. That man is such a crook. And Satir Mata, mother of Sati, whose husband is Amogha, she was beating her chest and lamenting and say, I wish and I curse my daughter to become a widow. Which means she's actually saying, may Amogha die. It's okay even if my daughter becomes a widow because he has committed such a grave offense. So both of them were extremely upset. And Lord Chaitanya was very cool. Lord Chaitanya was not at all. It's okay, chill, chill. Nothing big has happened. So disturbed. And Lord Chaitanya continued to eat. He didn't want to upset Saram, but his main objective was also eventually the Lord accepted all the offerings and he ate. And he was not disturbed also. And then he finished his lunch and washed his hands and mouth and legs and ate some tambula, cloves and cardamom spices. Saram Bhattacharya put a flower garland, put chandan on him. And after serving the Lord, Saram Bhattacharya begged at his feet. He said, Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I called you to my home to serve you, but just see what has happened. You have been insulted. You have been blasphemed by this great offender. Please pardon me. Please pardon me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so dismissal, he said, dismissing of that whole thing. Amogha is just a boy. Why are you taking so seriously what he has said? And actually, what wrong has he said? I was telling you first only, no, I can't be eating so much. I just wanted little, little. He is right. This is food is for 10 people. So it is not actually blasphemy. Actually, it was blasphemy, but the Lord was, trying to uh, make Saram Bhattacharya not feel so bad about it. So he said, at the end of it is not your offense. So I'm not upset. Saram Bhattacharya was not only chastising Amogha, he was cursing himself. I am so unfortunate. I am so that this is what I have caused you. And somehow the Lord pacified him. And then finally, uh, uh, Lord went back to his home in the house of Kashi Mishra where he was staying. Saram Bhattacharya accompanied him. And again, when he went to the home of Kashi Mishra, again he fell at his feet and begged him, just be peaceful. Don't be so disturbed. You go back to your home and be peaceful. And Saram Bhattacharya was just thinking in his mind that this person must die. Somehow I pray that this person dies. He was so angry and he was so upset. The only way that an offense, because Shastra says the only way that an offense to the Supreme God can be atoned is by the death of the person. And he and his wife were talking to each other saying, actually, we are willing to give up our life to atone for this offense. But we are Brahmanas, we are not, it would be improper for us to commit suicide. So what we will do instead is we reject this Amogha. We renounce our any association with him. He is no longer part of our family. Reject. We'll never see the face of this last member. In fact, we'll tell our daughter, reject her husband, because a husband who is an offender to the Supreme Lord is a fallen person and deserves to be renounced. So it is said that night Saram Bhattacharya's son-in-law, he ran away. He didn't come back to the home. He knew the environment at his home. Please give me 5 more minutes. I'll just complete this pastime. So, what happened is Amogha stayed somewhere else for the night, and it is said he immediately contracted terrible cholera. So bad was his cholera infection. The next day morning was almost on the verge of death. The news reached Saram Bhattacharya and his wife, and rather than being sad, they were happy. Yes, very good. That person deserves to die. May he die. I wanted to kill him, but by fate or providence, it has arranged for him to die. Good. Not that they hated him, but they were so upset that he's an offender to the Supreme Lord. Because this is what happens when a person offends the Lord or a great devotee. He said one's life, one good karma, one's reputation, possessions, good fortune, everything is destroyed. So it so happened that at that time, Gopinath Acharya, the brother-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya, which means the brother of Satir Mata, he was a close associate of Lord Chaitanya, he went to meet Lord Chaitanya. And the news reached Lord Chaitanya that Amogha is on his deathbed. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's reaction was exactly opposite. Very concerned. Oh, this happened to Amogha. Immediately Lord Chaitanya got up and he ran towards where Amogha was. So Lord Chaitanya was not feeling any anger towards Amogha. Why? Because even though Amogha was offensive, Lord Chaitanya saw him as a close family member of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So by virtue of that relationship, the Lord was overlooking all his faults and being extremely merciful to him. So Lord Chaitanya ran and came to where Amogha, and Amogha was about to die, and Lord Chaitanya came to him, and Lord Chaitanya placed his lotus hands, the chest of this dying Amogha, and said, "Ah, you are a Brahmana. The Brahmana's heart is supposed to be the resting place of the Supreme Lord. From where has all this contamination come into your heart? The heart of a Brahmana should be a clean place for the Lord to sit. You have allowed jealousy to sit in your heart. You have contaminated a place which is supposed to be the Simhasan of the Lord. Somehow, because of the association of Sarvam Bhattacharya, all your contamination is now vanquished." This is the Lord immediately purified him of all his contamination. And he instructed Amogha, "Come, Amogha, chant the holy name. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama." Get up and chant. Amogha was almost about to die, suddenly gets up, stands up, starts loudly chanting, and not just chanting, starts dancing in ecstasy. Ears trembling. Everyone is shocked. What is this? You're just about to die and now he's dancing. And he was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mad in ecstatic love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to laugh seeing this. Amogha, not only was he dancing, but he was so repentful of his behavior. He fell at the feet of the Lord and said, "I'm so sorry. My heart was so contaminated. Now I realize what a big offense I did. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I have blasphemed you with this mouth. You know, I'm such a rascal." He slapped his mouth. "I am so bad." He was going on slapping his face until the Lord had to stop him by holding his hands. And somehow Amogha was pacified. He said, "Oh, Amogha, I love you so much. You are so close to Sarvam Bhattacharya. What to speak of you? You are his son-in-law. Even a maid, even a dog in the house of Sarvam Bhattacharya, I love so much. Please, you are in such a fortunate situation. Why you are allowing such kind of contamination in your heart? Don't commit any further offenses and chant the holy names." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs this very beautifully. The most simple process of achieving perfection is chant the holy name and don't criticize anyone. If you cannot do anything else in your life, please remember these two things. Okay? Chant the holy names regularly. Do not criticize anyone, especially the devotees. perfect is anybody. Because sometimes we don't even know who's a devotee, who's not a devotee. So, so after giving this instruction, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya because this episode did happen in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw Lord and he fell at the Lord's feet and the Lord embraced him. And the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was still upset. Somehow the Lord pacified him and said, "Oh, your son-in-law Amogh is just a child." Actually, it so happened that Gopinath Acharya told Lord Chaitanya that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife are so upset because of this episode, they are fasting. They have given up eating. So they are going to fast until death or something like that. Not eating at all. So Lord Chaitanya, after delivering Amogha, went to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, pacified him and said, no, leave this hut of fasting. See, Amogha is already a devotee now. Everything is done. There's no fault. All matter is settled. Please, my instruction to you is go, take bath, take darshan of Jagannath, come back and have lunch. That's my order to you. Told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. I am going to wait here. I'm not going to go from your house until you come back and you have lunch. I want to see you having lunch. Lord Chaitanya tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And so, finally Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya goes and the devotees then, insist to the Lord, "Oh Lord, you don't have to wait here till Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes." So you go and you take your bath. And meanwhile, Gopinath Acharya uh, uh, Lord Chaitanya tells Gopinath Acharya that you stay here, you make sure that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes back and eats. If he doesn't, you come and immediately tell me. Make sure, has his lunch. So in this way, the whole matter was settled. Of course, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came back, he honored Prasad, and the whole episode was settled in a very good way. And of course, now Amogha was transformed. He was added to the family of pure devotees. So in this way, the family of pure devotees continued to increase. This is just one example, one after another. So many devotees were joining and becoming transformed and chanting and dancing in ecstasy. So in this way, beautiful pastimes the Lord performed, came and ate in the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami remarks that within this one pastime, so many beautiful lessons are there. Of course, I don't have time to recount all the lessons, but I think we mentioned many of them as we discussed through the pastime. So there's one very special blessing which is given, which I will jump to. Whoever hears these pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and love will attain the shelter of Lord's lotus feet very soon. Rebo. That is why we are discussing this. So these kind of blessings are there. Why should we not discuss? So that is the blessing. Praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrates Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in there. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaved Gaura Bhakti. My apologies for extending this, but it would have been very hard to cut this pastime midway. Thank you for tolerating me and hanging on. If anybody wants to drop off, please feel free. If there are any comments or questions, I can spend a few more minutes. Okay, wonderful. So, yes, so I think you all must be hungry by after hearing about this wonderful description. So, try to imbibe these small points into our life, what we are discussing. This is not just, we are not just discussing for entertainment purpose of how we should cook. We are honoring Prasad, how we should honor, serve the guests. What is the attitude when we see other devotees? How we should interact, how we should glorify. Hundreds of lessons. This is how we understand the character of a Vaishnava, how advanced one is, based on this observation. Okay, thank you very much. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai Shri Prabhupada. Haribo. I'll see you all next Saturday. Yeah. So just a quick one. So we are in Pitru Paksha. 2nd October is Sarva Pitri Amavasya. So for those who do Shraddha rituals, make sure you follow the rituals. Sometimes in your family, somebody else may be doing for the family. So whatever your arrangement is, make sure the traditions are properly followed of offering Vishnu Prasad to the ancestors and doing the tarpan and whatever rituals. And after that, there is the blessed Navaratri, ending in Dasera. So a lot of wonderful festive season starting. So we seek the blessings, of course, of Jagdamba, the energy of the Lord and of Lord Ramchandra on the Dasera day, and then leading very soon after that into Kartik and Diwali and so many festivals. So upcoming is a wonderful festival season again. So get geared in terms of festive celebrations with the right consciousness. Thank you very much. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Suraj family, nice to see all of you. Yeah. This, and,
Thank you.
yes. Yeah, Sneha ji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Sini ji, Puja Mata ji, Sri Devi ji, Bhaskar. Bhaskar's face is becoming more and more effulgent in the US.
Thank you.
Hari Hari. Then Rita ji, thank you. I noticed
Hare
you are
Krishna,
here.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, you are hearing with great relish. Thank you so much. Viveka Mataji also always hearing with great relish. I noticed the nods. She happily notes something from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. She will do like this.
Thank you very much,
Your
Prabhu.
interaction.
Haribo.
Anand Sundari Madhya, thank you. Suchitra Mataji. Thank you all. Tarun, thank you. So because of all of your enthusiasm, I am getting energy to speak. So let us continue this journey. So most likely after next Saturday we will keep our Bhagavatam class. After next Saturday, my intention is to go back to the Tuesday, Saturday mode. So CC will go to Tuesday as what was originally, and Bhagavatam will remain on Saturday. So that is Krishna willing. That is my intention to start from the Navaratri and going forward. Okay. I hope you all can accommodate that. The whole idea is to then we discuss. Otherwise, what is happening is sometimes the classes are getting so far spread that we lose the continuity and becomes very difficult. I hope you all can accommodate the schedule we had originally established, the cadence. Thank you. Very good. Have a good evening.